What's going on, team? Let's make sure everything is working. Give me 1 second. Alright, we're good. Welcome to tonight's isolation session for September 22nd, 2025. Gonna give everybody another 2 minutes to join. 7:15, we will get started. Going over the pairs you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUD/USD, finishing off with US oil. But if you guys have any questions about any other specific pairs, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. Pretty much like I said this morning, since we didn't do an isolation session for this weekend, we're gonna go ahead and do that today. Pretty much, we'll go over the daily time frame, update our daily highs, daily lows, go to the 4 hour, update our 4 hour highs, 4 hour lows, update to see if there's any continuations for the week, and then we'll do the same thing on the 30-minute time frame, 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows, and see if we have any continuations. And then obviously we'll talk about today's price action, how price was moving, what price did. There was JPY bank holiday today as well, so for some pairs, I went over that this morning. I think the only pair that really consolidated for the JPY pairs was GJ, if I'm not mistaken. Might have been no, it was GJ. Yeah, it wasn't AJ. So we'll talk about that. Year was good, Kendall. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just want to give an opportunity to everybody to want to give everybody the opportunity to join the stream before we get started, so I might give everybody another couple minutes here. But again, any questions, let me know. Posted the link on Twitter, posted the link on Discord. So I'll give everybody another few minutes. Oh, no, I'm pretty sure that feeling went away. I check phone in the morning. If I don't see nothing, I just lay back down. That's really what it is, man. It's really how it should be too. It gets to a point where all you gotta do is just take a glance at the charts. If it looks good, you stay active. If it doesn't look good, still stay active, but hands off. There's nothing to trade. There's no need to force it. No need to put yourself in a situation to, there's no point in putting yourself in a 50-50 situation. That's really what it boils down to. You can just give everybody another minute. We'll start at 7:20. What's good, Muhammad? You heard? Chillin', man. I'm chillin'. Kind thing, caught anything since last week? No, no trades. Damn, I'll be back in these next couple days. It's all good. We'll be waiting for you, man. September dry as month. Yeah, again, Muhammad is the same thing we talked about. The last time you were here, I think like what, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. It's like once again the market conditions we're currently in, with a lot of these pairs stuck in the range, or some of these pairs peak highs or peak lows. There's really not much, man. And again, like the moves that have been given, 90% of them, more than 90%, have pretty much been throughout Asia and London. I took a look. We'll skip over to US 30 real quick. Like I looked over US 30 today after 9:30. Um, gave us some pretty good moves, right? Like on the if you go to the internal, if you look even on the the 30 to 15, there were just certain things that didn't align before this entry was given, right? Beautiful type 1 pattern, lower time frame gave us a 1 minute change of character break of structure retest. The 1 hour time frame gave us a nice engulfing candle retest, but again, I wouldn't have even really classified this as an engulfing, since that first red candle to create that engulfing was a doji candle, so it's not really that strong of an entry point. right? But right after that engulfing candle, if you go down to the 1 minute, you know, you had the change of character and the break, right? My only issue with US 30 for today, there was two things. One is, once again, we're trading at a higher high, right? We're trading at the highs, right? And previously we had 3 days of rise. So this trade alone, probabilities were a little bit weaker, right? But that's the pretty much the only pair for today that actually gave us a clean move. It could have been a really nice 1 to 5 trade, pretty clean. Like it did everything it had to do, right? On the 1 minute, gave us a change, gave us a break, broke above the 800 EMA, gave us a retest of the 50 EMA. You can't really ask for a better looking pair, or a better looking entry, I guess you could say, right? And then the stop loss right below the previous higher low, straight into literally zero drawdown, straight into TP, into STP for the day. So it's been like opportunities like that where yes, something looks enticing to get into, but as you go up higher on the time frames, it's like, I'd rather wait for something a little bit cleaner. Against our rules anyway, yeah, exactly. That's really what it boils down to. Like if these trades aren't following my rules 100%, I'm not even gonna I'm not gonna force anything. And it's like what I was saying this morning in the trading session. Like it gets to a point where you really start to see and you really start to understand that all it takes is one trade. All it takes is one trade. So, you know, I would rather take my chances on a one trade that I know is gonna work out instead of taking a chance on a trade where I'm not 100% certain on. But once again, as we broke it down this morning, it made sense, right? The trade made sense. It was just more of high risk, a high risk trade compared to if price would have actually given us a nice break, or if we wouldn't have been in a higher high situation. I would have acted a lot differently if price action would actually make sense. So, but it's all good. You know, there's going to be a lot of more opportunities. And once again, it's all rinse and repeat at the end of the day. Right? Again, I always say this, and I've been saying this pretty much all month. Once again, we go back to May. You guys go look at my trading journal. Right? And I'll pull it up here on the stream too. Right? Just to give everybody a visual. Right? You go back to May. Right? I only took 2 trades in May. Right? March, April. No, I'm sorry. May, I didn't even take a trade. Right? May, I took 0 trades in May. June, I took 2 trades. Right? And then at the end of June going into July, that's when trades started popping off. Right? So May, I took no trades. June, I took 2 trades, which was Bitcoin and EU. Right? 170 pips total for the month of June. Right? And then July took off. We started trending. Right? And I went from taking no trades to taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades. Right? The first week we had a couple trades, right? In the first week of July we had 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. The second week of July we had 1, 2, 3 trades. And then at the end of July we had 1 trade. Right? 75 pips, 200 pips, 200 pips, 50 pips, 40 pips, 200 pips. So again, it pays off. Right? It gets to a point where you no longer have to chase trades because the trades you are catching are really good trades. 200 pips, 300 pips, right? The biggest trade for this year, right, was US 30, 420 pips. So all you need is one trade, right? All you need is one trade. Keep the consistency. Keep your consistency, right? And just keep doing the same thing. It's just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's all it is.
One trade per day keeps poverty away.
To 9 to 5 away. So that's all it is, Muhammad. Again, you go on Instagram, you go on on what's it called? You go on Instagram, you go to Twitter or X. You know, you got all these gurus talking about being patient and consistency, and They take fucking 2 million trades in a week. They'll lose 1,990,000 trades in a week, and then they'll win 10 trades. And oh, consistency. That's not consistent. You're gambling. So that's really all it is. Right? They talk about consistency. They talk about patience, but you go and you look at the trades they take, and it doesn't look like they have any of that. They're just gambling. They're good gamblers though. They have millions of dollars to blow thanks to affiliate codes and selling courses for $2,000, buying Lambos and post them on Instagram so then they collect the Instagram check. They post it on Twitter, they collect the Twitter check. Like that's an easy life right there. So stop hating. Ah man, I'm not hating. I wish I was them, man. I wish I could scam people too. Like that dude with the ATV this weekend. I wish I was a scammer too, man. So that's really all it is. Again, before we get started, any questions? Just wanted to give everybody a few minutes to join. We have a few people in here now, so any questions? Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over? E says he wants me to go over DOP USD, so any questions, any trades you guys took, anything you guys had marked up, any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. Yeah, we'll give everybody another 1 minute and then we'll get started. I said that 30 minutes ago. Literally. I already been streaming for 30 minutes. I haven't even started yet. Man. It was that somebody has to crash out. But at least I'll say this. At least I crash out with proof behind it. I don't just be talking nonsense. Muhammad says Muhammad says what's goody. Muhammad said what's goody. He said what's the word? No. They could not hear you. You're too far. Todo bem? Todo bem. Você fala português? Eu falo português. My bad, team. I thought I was looking at something, but I'm like so lost right now. Alright guys, let's get started. We'll get started in 15 minutes now. Alright, so let's start with AU on the daily time frame. We know we are in level 3 on an overall downtrend. Price had given us the break of the second zone of consolidation, gave us a lower low. And again, we're just looking for a lower high to be set, right? We know we had 2 points of interest. Our first point of interest, where we were expecting price to give us a lower high point to then continue the downtrend push, was on the 800. Once price reached the 800, it gave us a change of character, lower low, lower high. And on the push down to the lower low, price gave us an inducement, which was an indication that price was still gonna continue a little bit higher, right? Our second point of interest is that 30-minute gap that price had left at the middle of the zone of consolidation, right? So like I've been saying for the last couple weeks, this could just be a daily time frame multi-session type 3 pattern. Consolidation, break, comes back 50% of the zone of consolidation, gives a retest, and then starts that downtrend push. The fact that the middle of our zone of consolidation is literally right below where our 30-minute gap is, I am thinking that this is going to be a high probable area for price to give us that lower high that we're looking for to then continue. But once again, once price gets to our point of interest, not only do I want to see price fill that gap up, but before I take a trade, I need to see a change of character, and then I need to see the break of structure after the change of character to continue the downtrend. Right? Once again, the change of character is not the indication that the trend has shifted. A change of character could just be an inducement. The confirmation that price has shifted from being an uptrend to a downtrend is once we see that change of character and then we see the break of structure. Once we get the break, that's when I'll start looking to take trades. On the 4-hour time frame, let's update our week push, right? We had a week of drop last week, so we have no continuations, right? And we know that on the 4-hour time frame, we had a 4-hour change of character to the top side after price had given us that inducement of the low. So now we're trading between this 4-hour low down here and this 4-hour high. On the 4-hour too, we can see that price had already given us 3 exhaustion candles back to back to back. So again, price is already giving us the indication that, hey, we're not going to continue this downtrend push. And if we go to the 30-minute, the reason why it's so important to look at those higher time frames is because on the 30-minute, it looks like price wants to continue going down, right? It gave you the change of character. It gave us the valid break on Friday. And then today, Monday, price just consolidated. But once again, we already knew that was going to happen. We had 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, the market must chop or rise, move sideways or go up. And for today, we finished literally a micro pip, 1.6 pips from being a no net, but we actually have a rise. So again, any entries down here going short are low probability. Even though we had the change, even though we had the 30-minute break of structure, right? We still have the 800 EMA right where price is at. So we already understand that right now, when we look at the 30-minute up into the higher time frame, right? The higher time frame, price is still giving us higher highs and higher lows. So understand that this downtrend push that we have here on the 30-minute time frame was just the push making the higher low, right? Price moving down from a higher high going into a higher low. So that's what we gotta wait for. Once again, that is why I always wait for the higher time frame to really wait for that first push. So we know that on the 30 minute, we're now trading between this 30-minute low over here, and we have lower low, lower high, lower low, and we're trading between this 30-minute high over here. It's a pretty small zone. I'm interested in possibly just moving this just to have a clear area, right? I'll move the 30-minute box to this area here just to have a few, just to let price breathe, right? Instead of using that small zone, I'll use the structure of this high here, right? And we have no continuations on the 30, so we'll go ahead and just wait it out for AU. Right, let's start again. Any questions on AU, guys? I'll give you guys a couple 30 seconds here. Any questions on AU? Anything that didn't make any sense, let me know. I want to go bowling. You think she'll take me? No. No questions in the chat? Alright, perfect. So ACAD, we know we are in A1 still. We're in the first zone of consolidation on an overall downtrend. And price right now is just stuck in the middle of the zone of consolidation. So once again, in these areas, for me personally, I'm not taking any trades. Middle of the zone of consolidation, if you guys just put a line, right, and you just take a look at the middle of the zone of consolidation, what do you usually see? Inducements. Traders getting trapped. Market makers making price look like it wants to continue to go up. Then it goes down, hits your stop loss, right, goes all the way down, comes back up. It does the same thing every single time. Middle of the zone of consolidation, makes you believe it's a break, to then continue. Then it goes down, hits your stop loss, crazy candle, right, crazy wicks. Every single time when you're in the middle of the zone of consolidation. Every single time. Right, so we already know, in this area, I am not going to be looking for a trade. Daily time frame, nothing to update. On the 4 hour, we had 2 weeks of counter rise, last week being the third week. Price gave us a week of drop instead. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us pretty much the same move as AU, gave us a change of character, lower low, lower high, gave us a break of structure, lower low down here. Right, so we had this 30-minute break here, and again, I'm just gonna update all these lines since we didn't do it during the since we didn't do a weekly breakdown. So let's just update this real quick. Give me a second. Trading between this 30-minute high and oh no, what line is that? Is that the line that I just drew? Okay. We have our 30-minute high and we have our 30-minute low down here. And then again, very similar to AU, we had 3 days of drop. The third day was on Friday. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up, and we ended up going up. So again, price is doing exactly what it needs to do. As soon as we start trending, as soon as we get out of these ranges, it's going to be crystal clear traffic going straight to profits. All right, so we'll be patient with ACAD. When we're looking at EA, daily time frame, we know we are in level 3 on an uptrend. Right, we had peak low, double bottom, push 1, first zone, push 2, second zone. Currently in push number 3, and we are expecting price to reach our previous peak high in these areas up here. right? And as we zoom in, we look at what price is doing. Instead of giving us a simple trend, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. It ended up giving us higher high, higher low, and then gave us a zone of consolidation. Once again, completely normal. We have two different market conditions, a trend or a zone of consolidation. And in this area, price decided to just give us a zone of consolidation where price is rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, and we can see that price now is pushing up to the top side. Let's go ahead and add a few lines here for the 4-hour time frame. Just bear with me for a few seconds. Just gonna add a few lines here so we don't have to do this every week. We had a week of drop. Last week, price gave us a week of rise. We have no continuations on EA. And on the 30-minute time frame, we had the change of character, right? And all of this is part of the same trends, right? All of this is part of the same trend up until these highs, right? At these highs, we're looking for a valid break. Did we get a valid break? Testing, testing, testing. This green candle was testing still touching the break of structure line. And at this point, there has not been a clean break of these highs. Oh, but Lewis, this green candle closed above the wick. Correct. Right? This one definitely closed above the wick. Which one? This one did here, but I was looking at this one. So yes, technically we did get the valid break. But regardless, let's say, let me zoom in. Now they all have wicks. Alright, no, we're good. So we did get a valid break, right? This candle does have a wick at the bottom, which is very small. We had to zoom into it. So we'll see. Right? On Friday, price ended up giving us a day of drop. Then today, Monday, price gave us a day of rise. And we know that we're trading between this higher low over here now. I'm going to use the second red candle here and the lowest wick, just so we can have a little bit of room for price to breathe. And we know that this was a 30-minute break over here. Change this, 30-minute BOS. And we're trading between this high over here. And I'm gonna use that same body of the candle here. Right? And once again, level 3, we know we're looking for price to bounce off the 50. Would love to see this 4-hour cross of the EMAs as well. But on the 30, we look good. Right on the 30, price is doing exactly what it needs to do. Let me see if we have any engulfing candles, anything in this area. So we can start looking for some trades. Nothing on the 4, nothing on the daily. On the 1-hour time frame, not a valid engulfing candle. Second red candle did not close below the first red candle's wick. So that engulfing candle is not valid. Nothing on the 30, and then on the 15-minute, nothing on the 15. Right, so we'll be patient with EA, but EA looks good. Definitely gonna have this pair on my watch list for the next couple days, right? For this entire week, pretty much. And ECAD did exactly what we talked about this morning, right? Looking on your left-hand side, price gave us an inducement. We're just looking for these valid breaks. It gave us the break, continued to the highs. Once we reach these highs over here, we're looking for the break again to continue the push. Right, at this moment, once again, we are trading at the highs again in peak high. Right, if price would have given us cleaner moves during the NYC session, instead of this little wick fest that we had from 8 in the morning up until 9:30, you know, we could have possibly gotten something. But again, once we got onto this chart, ADR was already hit. Rather play it safe. But overall, ECAD did do some clean moves. We have a day of rise. 30-minute, we have a higher high, higher low, higher high. Price gave us a change of character, just the inducement of the low. Right, and we know that we're trading between these 30-minute highs still, and then the 30-minute lows are going to be over here. Let's add a change of character line here so we're not confused about the trend. Change this to red so we know that that was a downtrend move. And we're trading between these 30-minute lows over here and these 30-minute highs. On the 4-hour time frame, we had 2 weeks of rise, last week being the third week. Price gave us that third week push and then ended the week on a drop. Since we are on an uptrend, I'm going to mark it as a rise drop. Right, and then price already for this week gave us that 4th week push to the top side. So gonna take it easy with ECAD for the rest of this week. Unless there's something, again, like I said, crystal clear, we're just gonna leave this alone. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Getting spam texted. Alright, Euro USD. Daily time frame, we know that we are in level 2 on an uptrend, right? We have push 1 for zone consolidation. Push number 2, we had the break, the retest, back into the higher high, right? And very similar to the last pair that we were looking at, wait for EA, we created a higher high, higher low, then price just started consolidating. Daily time frame, price came back to the daily highs, gave us an inducement, did not give us a valid break just yet. On the 4-hour time frame, again, price gave us a 4-hour inducement. We still don't have a valid break. We had 2 weeks of rise, last week being the third week. Price gave us a rise and then ended up as a no net. Now again, could we be expecting price to give us that 4th week push to the top side? Ideally would be the best situation. But again, the fact that price on the daily time frame did not give us a valid break, the fact that the 4-hour time frame also didn't give us a valid break, I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, this is a high probability higher high, higher low to then continue back to the top side. And if we look at EU, we go back and we look at, let me think, GCAD. Let me see if I still have that marked. I'm pretty sure it was GCAD. At one point in time, yeah, it was. Right? At one point in time, which was back in June, price gave us higher high, higher low. And in the higher high, price gave us an inducement of the high. Never gave us the break. Right? This is one situation that we always talk about. Could price follow the trend even if we don't see clean breaks? Absolutely. We've seen it with GCAD. However, there's ways that we have to filter out bad trades versus good trades. Meaning, I'm okay with missing the initial push, right? Once price starts giving you internal confirmations that price is going to continue to push to the top side, that's when I'll be interested into getting into the trade. So these first initial pushes, I already forgot what pair I was on. EU? Yeah. Once price starts giving me some sort of confirmations on lower time frames. It could be on the higher time frames too. If we look at the daily and the 4 hour, look for engulfing candles. Look for bounces off the EMAs, which again in this case would be the 200 EMA and level 2. That's when I'll start looking to take these trades again. But this initial push where price is giving us what looks like a higher low, I'm not interested in taking these trades. On top of everything else as well, when we look at the 30-minute, we look at structure, we have a change of character, we have the break of structure. So could we say that this is the break of structure, higher high, higher low retest to continue? Once again, yes. But again, looking at the overall picture of what's going on, the fact that price never gave us those valid breaks on the higher time frames, right now I'm just still sitting on my hands. Once we get those confirmations that price wants to continue those pushes, then I'll take it. No problem. We had 3 days of drop, which was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up. And for today, price ended up going up. As soon as the market opened, price just flew up. Right, so we'll be patient with EU. If we could get 2 days of rise, we'll take the third day. If tomorrow we have some confirmations that price wants to continue these pushes back to the top side, we'll be looking for some entries. What I also like on the 30-minute time frame, price had tested our 800 EMA and pushed away from it. So we have we have a lot of confirmations that price does want to continue that push to the top side. So we could even go into the 5-minute time frame and we start seeing market structure on the 5-minute. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then today, as soon as the market opened, it gave us a change of character, higher high, higher low. And at the end of the NYC session, towards the end of the session, price ended up giving us another higher high break of structure on the 5-minute time frame. Still don't have a pullback. Price just continued that trend to the top side. If price wants to go ahead and give us a pullback, if price wants to go ahead and print an engulfing candle, and we'll go ahead and start taking those trades. But again, we just have to be patient, wait it out, wait for our confirmations to be hit, and then go on from there. Going into GA, daily time frame, we are in peak high territory. Price gave us the first push to the top side, first zone of consolidation, level 2, second zone of consolidation, right, V2, and then gave us push number 3 to reach our previous peak high. And at the higher high, price decided to just consolidate, where price has been rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time. And we're still just rejecting highs and rejecting lows. Right, so let me go ahead and update this real quick, where we can see that price still hasn't given us a valid break of the lows. We're still testing the lows. And at the highs, the exact same thing. Just testing the highs, going low, testing the lows, going back high. In these areas, once again, not interested in taking trades. We're in peak high territory. Once we start getting confirmations that price wants to continue a push to the top side, alright, we'll take a look at it. If there's a solid opportunity for us to look for a trade, then we'll do that. But for right now, same thing as always, peak lows, peak highs, not really interested in trading those. Add a few lines here for the daily separators. On the 4-hour time frame, again, same thing. We could see this a lot better on the 4-hour, the zone of consolidation, where price is rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, going back down to the bottom, which is where we're at now. We had a week of drop last week, or I'm sorry, the week before. Then last week we had a week of no net. Price was just moving sideways the entire time. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we had the change of character, the break of structure. Once again, as soon as we got the break, we had the 800 at the top. Price came down right at these highs as well. Price gave us a little shoulder head shoulder, gave us a break, continued that push to the bottom side, gave us an inducement of the 30-minute higher low point, bounced right off of it, went right back to the top. Just trapping traders. Right? This is what these areas in the markets are made for. Just to trap traders. Everybody who thought that this was going to be a simple trade to continue going short because, oh, we have a shoulder head shoulder. I'm not going to call out no names, because he says I'm a hater. So I'm not going to call out no names, but there's a very big trader who took these similar setups on a different pair. I believe it was NZD USD, maybe? Think it was NZD USD. Oh, we have a shoulder head shoulder. We got the break of the lows. Let's take these trades. Boom, straight to stop loss. Negative 75K. Right? Once again, all of these entry confirmations, right? Whether it's shoulder head shoulders, double bottoms, double tops, flag post patterns, fair value gaps, order blocks, turtle soup, CRVs, the F-type Jaguar, the BMW X3, all these entry types that you guys have. If it's not connected with market structure, you're going to lose every single time. Every single time. Keep that in mind. So then on the 30, we had a no net on Friday, and then today for Monday, price gave us a day of rise. So again, GA for me personally, staying away from it. We're in a zone of consolidation in peak high territory. We'll let price do what it has to do, and we'll go on from there. No rush. Going into GCAD, we are in level 3. We're expecting price to reach our previous peak highs all the way at these previous highs over here. We had push 1, first zone of consolidation, push 2, second zone of consolidation, and push number 3. And once again, instead of price just giving us push number 3, higher high, higher low, right, as we talked about since we went over this chart a little bit ago, it decided to just give us a zone of consolidation, where price has been rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, going back to the middle. Now price is back at the daily highs, is back at the 4-hour highs, and once again, the same thing that price did back in June is the same thing that's happening now at these highs. Exhaustion candles at the highs, no valid breaks. What are we going to trade here? We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. I'm not looking to take these trades at the top. The only time you want to take trades at the top of the zone of consolidation is if and when price gives you a valid break of the highs, and then it gives you the retest. Once price gives me the retest, that's when I'll start taking those trades to continue the trend back to the top side. So for right now, for GCAD, I'm just sitting on my hands. Once we go down into the 4-hour time frame, again, we can see the exact same thing. And we could go right back to June, which were these highs over here. And you guys could see it's doing the exact, like literally the exact same moves that happened back in June is the exact same thing that's going on now. Gave us those exhaustion candles, gave us the inducement, and then price started downtrending. Gave you a change of character, gave you a break of structure, lower low, lower high retest of the break of structure, right back down into the low. It's the exact same thing that's going on now. Price gave us a change of character all the way down to the bottom, gave us lower low, lower high. Could price continue this downtrend push? Absolutely. So once again, once price gives me solid confirmations as to where we're going, then I'll start taking those trades. We had 2 weeks of rise. Then last week, price gave us that third push to the top side and finished as a rise drop. So here's another confirmation of where price is going. The fact that price gave us such a steep pullback at the end of that third week, I'm not expecting this week to give me that fourth week push to the top side, just because of how steep this pullback was. So again, I'll be waiting for the confirmations. As soon as price gives me those breaks on the 4-hour and the daily time frame, that's when I'll start taking these trades. For right now, just going to be patient, wait it out. Price on the 30-minute gave us higher high, higher low, gave us an inducement of the higher high, just gave us a crazy exhaustion candle, and then price gave us a lower low change of character. So we are now trading between this change of character. We switch this to red so we know that this is a downtrend, right? We're trading between this 30-minute high up here and these 30-minute lows down here. Since this is a pretty small zone, I'm gonna use this red, the body of this red candle here, and then the lowest point, which is the wick, gives us a little bit of breathing room for price to do what it has to do, and then our 30-minute high is going to be this green wick and the body of that wick here. We had 2 days of drop on the third day. Price ended up, which is today, Price ended up giving us a day of rise. So no continuations, no breaks. GCAD gonna take a little break from it. Again, guys, any questions, let me know. Anything you guys want me to go over, anything you guys want me to explain, let me know. You guys already know these last couple pairs here that we have left, from GJ down to US oil. Not really a lot, just a lot of consolidation. You know, pairs like US 30, gold, we're in peak high territory. Price like USD CAD, USD ZAR. Price is just moving sideways. So, pretty much gonna speed it up a little bit. So I'll give you guys another minute. Any questions so far? Any other pairs you guys want me to go over before we finish? Let me know. But we should be done here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So use this time wisely, guys. Any questions? Anything you guys want me to go over? Anything you guys want me to talk about? Explain again? Let me know. Give you guys 30 seconds in the chat. DOPUSD. Yo, I think we should buy it and just hold. Chart's looking healthy. I'm so tired. That sun kind of blazed me today. I'm gonna be redder than a tomato going into tomorrow. You know what we should do tomorrow? Should go to the pool. Bad suggestion? Alright. Noted. He just stayed quiet at that suggestion. I don't think he fucks with me. It's all good. Yo, you gonna go eat the broccoli I made you, man? Gotta eat, man. You haven't eaten all day today. You're gonna die. You said you're gonna go try it? Alright. I'm gonna go try it first to see if it's good. Yeah, you better eat it, man. I made it with a lot of love. Well, yes, technically the broccoli was already made. But I put it on a bite it. I seasoned it. And I put it in the oven, man. It's the same thing. I pretty much did the same thing you did with the bread yesterday. Or with the cauliflower from the other day. Pretty much the same thing. You always say, "Oh, I hope next time I see you, you cook for me." I cook for you, man. Just for you to say my food is bad. That's crazy. Alright, no question in the chat. GJ, overall, we know we're still in an uptrend, right? We had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. On the push from the higher low going into the higher high, price decided to just give us a zone of consolidation. Huge zone of consolidation. Right? GJ, we've been in this area since October of 2024, where price has been rejecting lows, rejecting highs, and doing the same thing every single month for the last year. Right? Price finally reached the highs, right? And at the highs again, it gave us a lower time frame zone of consolidation where price has just been rejecting highs and rejecting lows. Man, I really do hate when people cook fish inside a house. It smells stank in here, yo. I don't think there's a smell I hate more than fish. On the 4-hour time frame, we have a weaker drop. We're looking for a valid break of these highs. We still don't have a valid break. All of these candles we're still testing, right? On top of the fact that price is still testing these highs, we also have a daily time frame engulfing candle. Once again, at this point, if we look at this engulfing candle, right, and I get this question a lot, oh, or do you take the trade as soon as price taps into it, right? Not on the daily time frame. Because where are we going to put our stop loss? At 142 pips is crazy. It doesn't even make sense, right? So instead of looking for my entry to be on the retest when I have a daily or 4-hour engulfing candle, I want to go into the lower time frames and start looking at structure on the lower time frame. In this case, since we're trading on such a big area, the 30-minute is going to be the one that's going to tell us everything we need to see. 30-minute, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price gave us a change of character, lower low. Before price gave us the change of character, it printed the engulfing candle. However, once again, I'm not looking to take a trade here on the daily time frame. The one thing I want to see on the 30-minute, well, two things I want to see on the 30-minute is not only do I want to see the break of structure after the change of character, but if price decides to give us that valid break, we're also breaking below the 800 EMA. So we would have a better possibility of this pair going straight to profit instead of it just ping-ponging, going back and forth from break even, going into profit, to almost hitting stop loss, to break even again. There's no point, right? We won't have to babysit this trade if we wait for the right time to get in, right? And if we get the break of structure and price comes up and gives us a retest of the daily engulfing candle, then perfect. I could take that trade and we could use internal structure to place our stop loss. And instead of having a 140 pip stop loss, we'll be looking at anywhere between, this isn't working, why? Right, we'll be looking at anywhere between 10 to 20 pip stop loss instead. So again, just going to be patient. As soon as price gives me that break, if it decides to give us a break of the lows, then we know we could take these trades from the top of the zone of consolidation right back down to the bottom. Pretty much price giving us a higher high going into a higher low. So for GJ, just going to be patient. Man, I really can't stand that smell, yo. I'm gonna go crazy. That's the thing, like, people eat this shit. Only imagine if it smells like this, how does it taste? It's gotta taste worse. I think people lie to themselves. I like fish. I think you're lying. You just say you like it just because you're hungry. Ain't no way. For GU, very similar to EU. Same exact setup, same exact area, is reacting the same exact way, doing the exact same thing. We're in level 2 on an uptrend, right? We had push 1, first zone of consolidation. We had the break, higher high, higher low, the retest, back into the higher high. And instead of just giving us a simple higher high, higher low going into a higher high, it decided to just give us a zone of consolidation. And once again, right now we have no continuations on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, price gave us a weaker drop. On the 4-hour time frame too, price gave us an internal lower low, lower high, lower low, and we're looking for a valid break of these highs before continuing to take those trades. Price ended up giving us that valid break, but once price gave us that break, it gave us an exhaustion candle. As soon as it gave us that exhaustion candle, which was also connected to it being a engulfing candle, a bearish engulfing candle, it gave us a retest. And on the internal time frame, price is just giving us lower lows and lower highs. Right? So once GU gives us the confirmation that price is going to turn back around, we'll start taking these trades. We had 3 days of drop, which was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up. And price decided to give us a push back to the top side today. So for GU, just going to be patient. On to the next one. Yeah. Damn, bro. For real, for real. Anybody in the chat that eats fish, your farts must stink like dog shit. It was horrible, bro. Might have to open up a window real quick, no bullshit. can you do me a favor too? Can you open up that window? Yo, I'm telling you. My mom, I used to bug her all the time. Like, yo, stop cooking in the house when it's fish. Yo, take the fucking oven outside. It don't stink for them, bro. They love that shit. I don't know why. I don't know how anybody could say they like fish. It's such a, I'm not gonna say what I always say because I'm on stream. I don't want to disrespect nobody, but if your parts stank, they stank like fish, yo. But then you're gonna tell me that, oh, but I like the smell of fish, yo. So you nasty. Like I don't know what to tell you. You gross. Fish were not meant to be eaten. That's a fact. Leave them shits in the water, man. Um, NZD/USD. We are in the second zone of consolidation, right? And NZD/USD, when we're looking at the market makers pattern, this looks picture perfect, right? From the pushes to the top side to then going back down to the bottom side. We know price still hasn't reached our previous peak low, right? We know that price still hasn't really given us a clean break of the zone of consolidation, but we can see that market structure is there, right? At the bottom of the zone of consolidation, when we go into the lower time frame on the 4-hour, we can see that price on the 4-hour gave us a zone of consolidation as well, where price is again just rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time. Once again, we're just stuck in these zones of consolidation. Price ended up giving us a inducement of the high, right? And since on the 4-hour we didn't get a candle closure above, it was just a wick. I'm not going to mark this as a change of character back to the top side. I'm just going to keep the same 4-hour high and 4-hour low. And we have a weaker drop. Right? And again, we're at the top of the zone of consolidation on the 4-hour time frame. So once we go down to the lower time frame, if we could get a change of character and a break of structure before price goes to our 4-hour lows, we know we could take those trades. But right now that doesn't seem like what price wants to do. It gave us a change of character, but in the last 3 days, price has just been plummeting. It hasn't even given us a lower high. So we still don't have a break of structure, right? We're trading between this change of character here. Let's mark this up. Change this line to a change of character. Change this to red, right? We know that we are trading between this 30-minute low, or I'm sorry, these 30-minute highs over here, right? And all of these pushes for the last 4 days, right? 1 day a drop, 2 days a drop, 3 days a drop, right? After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up, and we ended up just moving sideways. All of these pushes here are all part of the same trend. So we know that we're trading between this 30-minute low and these 30-minute highs over here. So as soon as NZD/USD decides to give us a valid break of the 30-minute lows, then we know we could take these trades back down to the 4-hour lows. Once price reaches the 4-hour lows, I'll be patient, wait for a break. If price gives us a break, we know we could get back into those trades to go right back down to the bottom. If price gives us an inducement of these lows, starts giving us those internal change of characters breaks back to the top side, then we know price is just going to go from the bottom of the zone of consolidation back to the top. So we'll just be patient, wait it out. As you guys can see, a lot of these pairs are moving the exact same way. So nothing out of the ordinary, is not nothing that we haven't seen before. Just rinse and repeat. US 30, we're in peak high territory, literally in a higher high. Going into the 4-hour time frame, we have 2 weeks. Where you going? Okay. On the 4-hour time frame, price gave us a change of character. It gave us a valid break. It gave us that valid break 2 weeks ago, and then price just continued. Gave us 2 weeks of rise. This week being the 3rd week, price gave us that 3rd week push to the top side. But once again, we're trading at a higher high. I'm not looking to take a trade at a higher high because I'm not expecting price to give me higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. Right? I'm expecting price to give me higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So as soon as price gives us a set higher low, and gives us a confirmation that price wants to go from the higher low back into the higher high, then we'll take that trade. But again, for US30, big pairs like US30, pairs like GJ, pairs like gold, pairs like Bitcoin, pairs that have a lot of pips, I'm a lot more comfortable taking those pullbacks, right? Again, just a higher high going into a higher low. We had 3 days of rise, gave us a 4th day push today. We have a lot of gaps in the market for US30, and always remember, gaps in the market reset the trend, right? And we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then price gave us this higher high over here. I'm not going to update these 30-minute highs and lows just yet. I'm going to wait until tomorrow morning, and then we'll go from there. We know we have these gaps at the bottom of the market on the 5-minute. We have a few 30-minute gaps here at the bottom as well, pretty far down. So we know that eventually price will have to turn around and start this downtrend, right? The question isn't whether or not it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen, right? The question is, when is it going to happen? And that's an answer that nobody really has, right? Once we start getting those change of characters and break of structures to the downside on the 4-hour time frame, on the 30-minute time frame, that's when I'll start looking to take those long-term shorts on US30. But for right now, we're still in an uptrend. For right now, price is still giving us higher highs and higher lows. Again, guys, gonna speed up for these last couple pairs because I'm not really trading them. USD CAD, we're in this first zone consolidation on a downtrend. Let's add a few lines here as well so we don't have to do this every single month. Man, for real, I don't mean to disrespect nobody who eats seafood here, but I'm gonna say it again, you guys are gross, man. Especially ones who be cooking this shit in their house and thinking that it smells good. Yo, it smells like a bag of garbage. You ever been to a garbage hill? For the ones who live in Florida, I don't know, I think every state has one, but especially if you're in Florida, man, you got these garbage hills. This is exactly what it smells like. Just nasty feet, man. Give me one second. My mommy just texted me. My bad. So, once again, USD CAD, we're still stuck in the first zone of consolidation. No continuations on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we had price give us a week of no net, then gave us a week of drop, so no continuations. And we can see that price again on the 4-hour is just moving sideways. And on the 30-minute time frame, guys, I'm trying to get through this so I could get out of this house for a little bit. Like you guys really don't understand how much I hate the smell. It is insane, bro. Like for real, like that's one thing where, brother, like I've never smelled something as bad as seafood ever in my life. I mean, dude, like jackfruit smells like shit, but you can't tell me that jackfruit smells worse than seafood. You just can't. Yeah, you can't tell me that. I'd rather smell 10 jackfruits than have to smell seafood. There's nothing worse than the smell of fish. Right, USD ZAR, just gonna skip over this again. I'm just gonna keep everything updated for the sake of keeping everything marked up, but you guys could see that USDZAR, we're just stuck in a huge zone of consolidation, right? Especially on the 30-minute time frame. Let's just go ahead and update our lines here real quick. Let's add a few lines. We don't have to do this every week. Two weeks of drop. Price gave us a no net. I'm about to cut my nose off. 30-minute time frame. Another just huge zone of consolidation. Price is moving sideways. Have another day of no net. Have another day of no net. Just 2 days of price moving sideways. And it's not only 2 days. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A whole week. 7 days of price just moving sideways. No trend. Gold, we're in peak high territory. Once again, this is a pair that I am not currently trading. Just letting price do what it has to do. As soon as we get our confirmations that price is giving us a set higher high to go into the higher low, we know we could take those trades from the higher high going back down, right? And once price gives us a set higher low, we know we could take those trades from the higher low back into the higher high, right? But right now we're in peak high territory. We have no structure on the left hand side, right? So again, what am I looking for? What am I doing here on the 4 hour? I'm adding these lines. Hold on. Right, Sunday 1700. Sunday 1700. Right, we had another week of rise. Right, so at this point we already have 5 weeks that price has been pushing up to the top side. Price gave us another higher high and higher low, but I'm not going to update this. I'll update this tomorrow morning. Once we got a set higher high, then I'll update the chart for gold. And then we have 2 days of rise. Right, Tuesday being the 3rd day, we could already see that as soon as the market opened, price pushed up to the top side. And on the 30-minute, we were in a zone of consolidation, and we finally got that break. So again, the 30-minute highs and lows will update this tomorrow morning. The smell's only getting worse and worse by the minute, bro. I'm gonna end it all, man. Just sprayed a whole circle around me of this spray that I got in my room, man. Right. Almost done here, guys. Bitcoin and US oil. Right. Once again, Bitcoin, we're in peak high territory. Right. A lot of news, right? So there was a few things I wanted to talk about on Bitcoin, especially in yesterday's session, that we didn't end up doing. But let's get some things clear about Bitcoin, right? Overall for Bitcoin, right, the overall trend, we're definitely bullish. 1000% bullish. However, we're day traders, right? So as day traders, we have to be able to I'm not going to say ignore, but we have to filter out the noise that we see online. Over the weekend, there was a lot of news with crypto, right? US Bank is starting to use Ethereum in their network. You know, Trump at the White House made a Bitcoin statue of him holding up a Bitcoin. El Salvador invested another like millions of dollars into Bitcoin. A whole bunch of news, right? There was a whole bunch of news. A lot of people, a lot of news outlets, a lot of everybody who trades, a whole bunch of people, bullish, 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 get in, right? On the Forex side of it, on the day trading side of it, you have to understand that it doesn't matter the news that's outside. You have to look at market structure. As soon as I opened up Twitter on Sunday and Instagram, first thing I saw was people already taking trades going long on Bitcoin, right? And it's very easy to get caught up on the noise if you are not looking at market structure, right? With that being said, what do you mean about market structure? It's very simple. You go into the 30-minute time frame, right? And a lot of people were, oh, this is a shoulder-head shoulder, right? It's 100% correct. We know we have a shoulder-head shoulder. Before we have the confirmation of what price wants to do, again, a lot of people were buying into Bitcoin here in these zones of consolidations during the weekend because of all the news that was coming out, right? But understand that the valid place to have taken the trade is once price gives you the confirmation that is going to give you an inducement of the break of the shoulder-head shoulder to then continue the uptrend push, right? Meaning, as soon as price gives you an inducement of the low like it did here, if you go into it, this is on the 30-minute time frame, right? So as soon as you see that price is giving you an inducement on the 30-minute time frame, you want to go down to the 5-minute, you want to go down to the 1-minute and start looking for that change of character break of structure back to the top, right? And if we go down to the 5-minute, the 1-minute, we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Price gave us a change of character. The fact that price only gave us a change of character, it does not mean that the trend has shifted. You need to wait for the break of structure to happen before taking a trade. And we never got that break of structure. And everybody who got into this trade going long, you got liquidated. You lost. The next candle was just two huge candles, right? Two huge candles that did, just think about it, 257 pips. Just two candles did 257 pips right into your stop loss. Understanding that you have to wait for the confirmations before you take a trade. If you do not wait for these confirmations, all of your setups are going to go the opposite way. All of them. You guys have to learn how to be patient. You guys have to learn how to filter out the noise that's going on when it comes to trading. It doesn't matter what you're trading. Whether you're trading crypto, whether you're trading foreign currencies, whether you're trading commodities, whether you're trading energies, whether you're trading indexes, whether you're trading company stocks, options, penny stocks, fucking if you're trading cotton or if you're trading corn or if you're trading milk, it's all the same thing. Every single chart moves the exact same way every single day. The market is not a place where you're just gambling. There's a system connected to this. And if you do not understand the system, it's going to be very difficult to be profitable. Again, could you be profitable with a 40%, 50%, 60% win rate? Yes. It's just going to be a lot harder to gain the consistency you need to see to actually make this a living, to really do this full time, to make this a career. And again, like Steve Morrow always says, if trading is something you want to do as just a hobby, you better quit now and take up photography. It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to do photography as a hobby than it is to do trading as a hobby. This is not a hobby. This is not something that you could do as a hobby. This is something that you're either in it or you're not. This isn't something where you're going to do it for one day, then take 2 weeks off and then try to come back. It does not work that way. It doesn't work that way. Right, and then the last pair for the night, guys. I know it's late for a lot of you guys, so I appreciate you guys, staying in here for this long. But again, oil at this point, not really trading it once again. Just waiting it out. We still haven't gotten a clean break of these lows. We have the change of character, but we don't have a valid break. As soon as price gives us these valid breaks of the lows, we're taking the trades. We already know this is the continuation from the lower high going into the lower low. So just waiting it out on the 4-hour time frame, we're stuck in another zone of consolidation. We have 2 weeks that price has just been moving sideways. Let's add a few lines here. Give me 1 second. Alright, and then we did the 30-minute. On the daily time frame, once again, same thing, just lower high going into the lower low, and we're just looking to catch a small piece of the move, right? Lower high going into the lower low. I'm just looking for a little piece, right? And as soon as we get the confirmation that price is going to continue this downtrend push, when price gives us the break of these lows, we know we could take all of these trades back down to the bottom, right? All of these trades. So I'm okay with missing the initial, right? Let's do the math, right? I'm okay with missing the initial 323 pips, right? I'm not interested in those first initial 300 pips. I'm more interested in the next 450 pips. As soon as price gives us the confirmation that we're going to continue this downtrend push, I'll start getting in, right? I'll be waiting for the break, the retest, to then continue that push back down to the bottom. So that's pretty much it for tonight, guys. Any questions, let me know. Any other pairs you guys want me to go over that we didn't go over tonight, let me know. Anything you want me to explain, anything you want me to go over, anything you want me to talk about, any trades you guys took that you want me to go over and kind of speak on, let me know. If not, that's pretty much it for tonight, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Give you guys till 8:40, another 5 minutes here. If you guys have no questions, then we'll pretty much be done. Get any questions, guys, let me know. Looks like you guys are good in the chat, no questions. Alright. Hope you guys all have a good rest of your night. We'll be back tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Peace out.